I started the project Mountain Dream Tarot in 1970 because I had a dream to do it. I literally dreamed it up. It's almost impossible for young people to imagine a world without Photoshop. But if something was on fire in a card, it was on fire. And if you needed an eagle, you had to find an eagle. Or a lion, or swords. I had to round up some swords. I mean, I couldn't just make this stuff up. I had to photograph it. You have 8 wands flying through the sky, for example. That's the same wand. It's a stick, basically, that I photographed once on a piece of white paper, which meant I exposed it 8 times in sort of progression, and then processed that one photograph, and that one wand would appear 8 times. I was using friends as models because I was at an art colony at Penland School in North Carolina. Sometimes I would pick a model out, thinking physically they just looked good for the part, and not realize that somehow there was something going on in their life that was really true. For example, the card of death. I wanted someone with a particular cheekbone structure, and I asked a man, he was a little older than I was, but still a youngish man, if he would mind modeling it. And I could tell, whoa, he really doesn't want to do this. So I dropped it. And I found out later that he thought he was terminally ill. And so my asking him to be the death card was really alarming. Another instance happened with the Ten of Swords, where there's a man lying face down and he's got swords in his back. And it's a gruesome kind of murder. And when I processed it, I threw it in the fixer, and the doorbell rang. There was a little girl from across the street, and she said, "Bea, did you hear the cops? Did you hear the ambulance?" I said, "No." And she said, "Well, someone was just shot dead in your front yard. It was a drive-by shooting." And this was a fairly calm suburban Philadelphia neighborhood. Nothing like that had happened before or since, but it was that minute that I was printing that card that someone was killed on my doorstep. No, I've never had a reading done. After some of the stories I told you, you can probably understand why, but the main people that they sell to now are tarot collectors. It's a completely different audience. It's not photographers, it's not artists necessarily. There's a whole world out there. And with that, I don't mean no disrespect, but the orders that come in, I immediately know without even reading them that they're for tarot cards because of the email addresses. It'd be something like Crystal Pony or Mother Earth at Google or whatever. It's like, okay, this is a tarot order, I can tell. One of the reasons it's followed me for all these years is historically, as far as we know, it was the first complete photographic tarot deck ever done. Therefore, it's really quite amazingly important historically. A lot of them are family and friends, but they're real people. They're not drawn people.